We are now on our fourth topic, statement of cash flows. At the end of the topic, we should be able to evaluate the importance of an SCF, identify the activities related to SCF, differentiate the two approaches of SCF, and then accurately prepare an SCF. What is an SCF class? This summarizes the cash receipts and cash disbursements for the accounting period. So, kani siya nga topic class, ang ato ang hisgutan raan ni ang cash ra class ha, kanang cash nga transactions pa, kanang anything nga makasud nga kwarta sa company or anything nga ato ang gi-disburse or atong gibayad. Basta cash lang nga transactions, okay? And then, it summarizes the cash activities of the business by classifying cash inflows, so katong mga nisud nga mga kwarta, and cash outflows ang atong mga gipangbayad into operating, investing, and financing activities. Later on, we will define more on these terms. And then, the SCF also shows the net increase or decrease of cash in a given period and the cash balance at the end of the period. So, later pod class, makita ninyo kung giunsa na to pag-compute ang mga increases or decreases sa cash, and also ang ending balance ato ang cash, which will be the same cash balance in our statement of financial possession. So basically, ang kining statement of cash flows class, ihang gi-answer ang question nga unsa kunoy nag-cause sa changes sa ato ang cash within the period. Nganong importante maning statement of cash flow class? So the statement of cash flow would allow management to assess the ability of the business to generate cash. And also, this would help the owners see if their revenues are actually translated to cash collections. Kay, di ba class, if mamaligya ganita sa ato ang goods or murender ta og service kay either cash salesman or sales on account. So, diri sa statement of cash flows, makita nato if katong mga sales on account na translate na ba to siya into cash. And also, if they have enough cash inflows in order to pay any maturing liabilities. So, makita po nato nga class if napapatay enough nga kwarta para bayaran ang atong mga utang. So, class, we have three activities related to our statement of cash flow. So, we have operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities. So, when we say operating activities, these are the activities of an entity related to their main revenue generating activities of providing goods and services. So, basically, class, mo ni siya ang mga activities nga gibuhat ni company para maka-earn og profit. So, asa man ni nato makita sa ato ang statement of comprehensive income. Nganong dito man sa SCI class, dito man nato makita ang atong sales of goods and then our service revenue and also the expenses that we incur related to sales and rendering of service. So, mao na siya class, kanang makita na to sa ato ang SCI. Related na siya tanan, if not all, sa ato ang operating activities. And then, asa pa sa ato ang statement of financial possession, ang current assets class. Current assets lang ni class ha, and then also our current liabilities. Kay mao man ni sila ang related na mga accounts sa atong pag-operate sa business. Current assets like accounts receivable, inventory, kana siya mga prepaid expenses, kana mo man ato ang gigamit no para maka-provide ta sa ato ang goods and services. sa kini pong current liabilities kanang atong accounts payable and also ato ang mga accrued expenses. So later on sa ato ang mga examples makita ninyo ha. And then we have our investing activities. So these activities are related to the sale and purchase of long-term assets and other investments. So kuha ni siya class ang ato ang pagbaligya o ang atong pagpalit aning mga property, plant, and equipment and also mga long-term nga mga investments. So mura man guni siya investa para ani nga mga assets anig ato ani siyang paliton or inig ato ni siyang ibalikya maong under ni siya sa investing activities. So asa man nato usually makit-an. So sa ato ang statement of financial position, non-current assets. And then class, we have our financing activities. So these are the activities related to acquisition of funding for the use of the entity. So basically class no, kanang sa term lang nga pag-finance, so kinsa may mo finance sa business, 'di ba si owner man, so siya nangita og fund para sa business, so na siya iyang investment makaron or mangutang siya class from a bank, mo borrow siya from a bank para ma-finance ang business. So asa man nato siya makit-an class sa ato ang statement of financial position, non-current liabilities. Kay kanang borrowings, especially ang mga bank loans, kay mga long-term man na siya nga mga liabilities under our non-current liabilities. And then we also have in our SFP, owner's equity. So ang kanang investment ni kuan class ni owner o kanang iyang withdrawal sa cash sa company, under na siya o financing activities. So again, there are three activities related to our statement of cash flow. We have operating activities, we have our investing activities, and then our financing activities. So class, let's have some examples under our operating activities, which are our net and income activities. So for our cash inflows, we have cash received from sales and service revenue. So kanang render ta og service class or mamaligya ta sa tong goods, and then in return our customers will pay us cash. So this is cash sales, no? And then we have collection of accounts receivable. So katong mga nangutang na to class, and bayad nila kwarta na to, mo debit man ta og cash, and then credit back accounts receivable. So the collection of our accounts receivable is a cash inflow. And then we have refunds from our suppliers. So in case class nga defective ang goods nga atong na-purchase, and then ato sila gi-purchase through cash, nigulit na to sa goods, kay pwede naman ta maka-receive og cash, no? In return. So the entry is debit to cash and then credit to purchase returns and allowances. And then we also have our cash outflows. So we have payments to our suppliers, and then payment of operating expenses like salaries, rent, utilities, and taxes. And then we also have payment for interest expense. Class kanang ako lang ni siyang tagaag emphasis kaning sa interest expense ha, kay di ba kaganihan naghisgot ko no nga si owner para maka-finance siya sa iyang business, pwede siya mangutang sa bangko. And then class, kana siya class, kanang pag-loan ni owner sa isa ka bank, that is considered a financing activity. But then class, ang interest expense nga bayaran ni owner in connection with the payment of the loan is operating na siya class, ang kanang iyang interest expense. Ha? So ako ang balikon class, ang ang loans payable, the proceeds of the loans payable is a financing activity. However, ang interest bayaran in connection with the loan is an operating activity. Okay? So, I hope klaro ni siya ha. And then, we have cash refund to customers. So, in this case, class, if in case natay cash sales and then naabaro defect ang ato ang goods nga nabaligya sa ato ang customer and then ilahang gibalik sa atoa, so that's when we credit our cash, no, and then we debit sales returns and allowances. So kani siya class, dili ni siya exclusive list sa ato ang operating activities ha, pero kuan ni siya, mao ni siya ang usual nga mga activities gyud under operating activities. So napay mga lain nga transactions pwede ma-under sa operating activities depende kung sa ang business ni owner or ni company, but kini siya nga list mao ni siya ang usual nga makita. Okay, then next, let's have examples under our investing activities, non-current asset activities. So for our cash inflows, we have cash proceeds from the sale of property, plant, and equipment, intangibles, and other long-term assets. So, if ato ni sila ipangbaligya class, ang atong makwarta, gikan ani nila, cash inflow ni siya sa ato ang investing activity. And then, we also have cash proceeds from the sale of long-term investments. Then, for our cash outflows class, ato na ning balihon, no? O kung nipalit pud ta, ni-acquire ta og property, plant, and equipment, intangible, and other long-term assets, as well as long-term investments. So, kanilang siya class, covered sa ato ang non-current asset activities, ang kining naa sa ato ang investing. Then, we have our financing activities, non-current liabilities, and equity activities. So, for our cash inflows, we have cash investments by the owner, and then we also have cash proceeds from long-term borrowing. So, mauna ni siya class, ang akong giingon kaganiha, nga nangutang si owner sa isa ka bank or any other credit agency ba karon, and then nakadawat siya og kwarta from that borrowing. So kana siya class, under na siya financing. Okay, so that is an inflow of cash for our financing activity. And then we also have our cash outflows. So this is a cash withdrawal by the owner, and then also payment for the principal balance of the long-term borrowing. So, ang principal nga amount plus ha, for example, ning loan si owner og 5 million from Metro Bank, payable in 5 years. So, 5 years thereafter, nibayad si owner sa 5 million nga giloan niya. So, ang 5 million ni class mo na siya ang principal balance sa long-term nga borrowing. So, maula ni siya class, no, ang usual nga list under our financing activities.